Hello everybody, welcome to Queena Show again. Today there's a very interesting article on the long winding road for Bitcoin to reach to $10 million one Bitcoin. Yeah. Now, the article first appeared in Medium, published by Lucid Investment Strategies, but I have actually adapted that article and have put it in graphical representation so that it is very easy for anyone to understand. Yeah. Now, first slide here is what is basically saying that we have a huge problem globally. That remains amounts owed to one another is the red line showing $247 trillion, right? This is an estimation from them to date. All this data is to date data. Now, in comparison, every other asset class is smaller, right? The first line total wealth is basically a summation of a few of the asset class at the bottom. But if you look at it, if you look at each asset class on its own, you will see that basically like real estate is 228, right? Stock market capitalization is 73 trillion. So that you can see, right? Everything else is so much smaller compared to our total debt. And that is basically is the problem. And this situation is not sustainable. And that's why a lot of people say the incoming economic collapse, which is unlike anything we have seen before, is because of this debt problem. And basically the author went on to say then there's only 5 ways he see that we can get out of this problem. First one, and the most likely outcome he think will be the Bitcoin standard. Second, gold standard. Third, basically a new commodity or a new currency being created. Fourth is basically economic growth. And fifth, just default by nations. Now, Bitcoin standard, they argue, will be the least, damaging in terms of collateral to every nation, individuals, and also governments and companies. So, then he went on to say, how does it actually work, right? The bad news is that first, the author expect that we will see an ultimate bottoming, basically crashing, Bitcoin crashing to below $1,000 per unit. And then, right, because it is so low, and also other coins will also be affected, and that will lead to the death of all the other alternative currencies or altcoins. And then after that, then the people will buy into Bitcoin, and then they will realize Bitcoin is the true best cryptocurrency there is, being truly decentralized, right? And being not inflationary, not anyone, you can't print it out from thin air, and that people will just buy into it, and then the price will go very smoothly to 6,000 level. But then it would to go to 20,000 level, which is a newer high, right, above the last peak we have seen. Then it will need to do 3 things. There will be 3 bumps or resistance level. First one is at the level of 7,500 to 8,500. If we cross that, the next resistance is at 13,750 to 17,500. And the last one is basically the key, is above the last high, which is above 19,666. And if we can cross that, then we can then go to the next stage. And the next stage is that once we, above the new high, the previous new high, then basically it will be media frenzy. All the media will report on this trend, and then basically a lot of the institutions, hedge funds, family offices who have not yet been in, or not enough, they will come in at this space and buy like crazy. And also individuals who have not bought it will also come in at this price. Basically anything above 20k, that's what they will do. And this is basically what we see, a frenzy, and that basically will speed it up to 50 and 100k. Now this 50k and 100k per coin, yeah, don't forget, is a key resistance level, yeah. And the next one, right, though, is then a digital gold, yeah. Sorry, before that, in terms of when we are phase 2, the 100k, who are the people buying? Because think of it this way, right, 100k times we expect there will be only about 17, or the author expect there will be only about 17 million units of Bitcoin in circulation. by then, because there will be some coins that are lost, and yeah, basically some coins that will be lost and will not be recovered. So total supply, we're looking at the author is looking at about 17 million units, and 100k times one coin times 17 million units, right? That basically give you 1.7 trillion. 1.7 trillion, who will be buying this? Where does the money flow from? And if you look at the previous chart, right, it's basically it will come from the stock market. Stock market has $73 trillion. So to give 1.7 trillion out to the crypto market, that is nothing, right? Basically nothing. So then the explanation can be plausible in that sense, right? And the next phase then, after hitting above 100k, then they will have to challenge the gold as being a true store of value. And now at this point, right, because it's already a much higher value and it is beginning to be more credible, because remember, gold market cap today is about 7 to 8 trillion. So if it's 1.7 trillion, so it's about 25% of the gold market cap, then it can start to challenge. And some people who hold on to gold investors might sell their gold for Bitcoin at this point. But if they don't, right, then the process from 100k to 400k will be a slow one, and then basically you will need you will just need people to kind of like force this process, but basically it will be a hard process, so it will be a bit more painful and slower. Then basically everyone has a price to sell, and then you have to look at 400k a coin, then basically it will reach parity. So basically 4 times, right? Because it will to get Bitcoin market cap to 8 trillion, then each unit of Bitcoin has to be valued at 400k per coin. So $400,000 per coin. Yeah, that's basically how much. So to make it very parity, so then gold investors have no problem, and then no problem to change to Bitcoin, and that is what we mean then Bitcoin then have truly become digital gold. Yeah. So by the way, these terms which I use for their phases is coined by me, right? As close as possible, I think it should represent that, but I'll put a link to the article below, where if you have the time, please go feel free and read it for yourself. Fourth phase is basically then, right, it will become the standard. What is this now? From 400k to 1 million, this is going to be very key. Yeah? How it can reach to 1 million, basically then you will need a lot of developers, right, focusing all their talent, and in fact we need all the developers, so turning away from all the altcoins, every talent in the world, to focus on making Bitcoin super fast, super convenient to use, and right, it can scale, right, no problem, super secure. Basically we need that killer app, right, and that killer product. So think of it like an Apple, right, which is so revolutionary. Today it is still the standard in terms of mobile phone. So it has to reach that. So definitely a lot of talent has to flow into making Bitcoin super duper, it really like the standard, right, the standard. Also then institutions like Fidelity, Wall Street Wall Street firms have to recognize Bitcoin as really the go-to, yeah, and also then institutions and government have to really recognize Bitcoin, as really the truly legitimate, and there's no other alternatives. If that is able to be achieved, then right, we are looking at $10 million per Bitcoin, and this then will become the truly universal sovereign currency for the world, then replacing basically US dollar as the fiat money, as the reserve currency for today. How and then who will hold Bitcoin at that point? It will be basically the sovereign wealth funds, right? The governments, the pension funds. Those money will then flow into this space, right? And this is basically, it's going to be a long and winding road. The author didn't state any timeline for this to happen. He just state what are the possibilities, what are the phases, what are the conditions that need to exist, right? Now, is this very crazy? Probably, but then again, if you think about it, could it happen? Maybe, right? Who knows? Who can tell? The thing is, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road, do you think this is probable? Maybe, right? Who would have thought that Bitcoin from zero, right, from few cents, it can reach up to 20K, right? So now, what is not possible, right? It's hard to say, right? And who would have thought that today we can basically communicate with each other throughout the globe, right? Just via a box, right? A mobile phone. Who would have thought, like 20, 30 years before this, no one have thought this thing, right? At the time, if you tell people that, people will say that you are crazy as well. And I just want to say this, right? I guess the conclusion for me is really then, regardless, right, what the price is, I think the long-term prospect of Bitcoin, of major cryptocurrencies are very, very positive, right? And the thing is now is a super good price, right? It is already very low. You can't really see when is the dip. Yeah, you could possibly wait to below 1,000, but will it really happen? No one really knows. Yeah, this is an article, right? It's an analysis by a group of people who have I'm sure they have stakes in this. That's why they do this analysis. But the thing is, the best way is really not to, it's hard to actually predict whether the market will drop below 1K. So it's best to actually, right, just average out your cost of entry. And now it's actually already really low compared to, all the previous highs as well. So now it's still around 3,000, 3,005 level. So between these levels, just go and get a bit is my opinion, not financial advice at all. But really, I think anyone now can easily afford one Bitcoin. But if it goes to 100K, 200K, 400K, 1 million, or even 10 million, then that time it is super hard, right? Who can then afford? You can only buy a Satoshi, which is, 1/8 of the amount of a Bitcoin, right? Not even 1/8. It's really the, the 8 decimal points of a Bitcoin, yeah? Then, so now it is really a good time to get into the market, I think, right? Second thing is there are so many indicators that are staring us in the face. It's just that a lot of people still do not know, right? What are all these significance? And when you all combine all of them together, that is huge, right? Governments looking into this space very, very seriously. They're dedicating their time to look into having regulations, right? All the big Wall Street firms they are interested in this space. A lot of the investors, right? A lot of the institutions, investors, they are definitely interested into this space. Either they have already understood, so they want to see how can they best invest, or they are at the point of understanding. But regardless, all these rich people, because to understand, they always put even just a bit of money, dipping their toes, because they understand that for them to have the skin in the game, only then they will clearly learn how it works, right? And that was exactly what Jim O'Shaughnessy, the veteran in traditional investing, he actually said, that's how he thinks about it. And sure, there's a lot of rich people like him also think that way, yeah? So also, so Wall Street firms, all the institutions have interest, if not already invested. You already hear a lot of the crypto funds, right, having more than 1% Bitcoin holdings in their coffer. And all right, every now and then you already hear whales buying up cryptocurrencies, and these are just super, rich people. It could be one consortium. It could be, like in the 1 week in November, which is my article. I did a video previously saying that whale, right, buying up $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Who has such amount of money, right? If it's not for either some rich family offices or some combinations of wealthy families, right, around the world. So all this just ought to tell you, right, that now is really a good time for anyone to have either a portion or one whole Bitcoin, right? You can even just buy $50 or $100, and then you will still have at least a stake. But when it reach astronomical amounts, I'm sure a lot of people will then want to enter at probably, a 20K or even 10,000 level, but then it is still 3 times or 6 times the current price, right? So yeah, but that's just again my opinion, right? I mean, I clearly know what I want to do, right? And yeah, I just cannot give you exactly financial advice, right? And the next news article will talk about if you want to buy off exchanges, definitely go into only the reputable exchanges, yeah. And the point about this article is really to say that which are the safest cryptocurrency exchanges if you really want to go and buy from the cryptocurrency exchanges, right? And if you want to hold some of these coins in the cryptocurrency exchange because you want to do frequent trading, for example, really only go for those crypto exchanges that are really reputable, right? Because we do have a lot of news that there were a lot of exchanges being hacked, all their own owner issue, right? It's basically really just go with the reputable ones, yeah. And this is a brand new study released by Cryptocurrency Exchange Ratings. They looked at top 100 cryptocurrency exchanges, right? And what are the metrics that they look at? User security, ongoing crowdsourced security assessments, and server security. And this is very key because if you are able to have, the people network, right? Other people out there, the community, to actually check for bugs, for hacks, right? Then you can be quite assured, or you can be quite certain that your exchange is definitely secure. And interestingly, they only found that, right, about 6% of the exchanges have something they call bug bounty programs. That basically means, right, they will give financial rewards to people who found the bugs and then actually report back to the exchange themselves, so that they have a chance to fix before hackers, right, have a chance to actually compromise the security, and the poor people's funds will be lost, yeah. And who are the ones that basically cut it, right? Who are the ones that qualify? Number one is Kraken, Coinbase Pro, Binance, and BitMax. These are the top four highly ranked ones, right? So please, now again, the really bottom ones, I seriously think, right, you really need to trade with caution, right? Because the only reason some people might be using some smaller exchange, I believe, is because of the alternative coins that are not listed on the more major ones, I believe. Now, then again, you really need to think about, is there real use cases for the alternative coins that you're holding in the future? Because there are a lot of crypto experts in the field basically think, right, that Bitcoin and maybe just a handful of other cryptocurrencies will be the main ones that remain sustainable in the long term. So I really think so. Be very careful. If you really believe it, then hold on to it. But again, make sure you only invest the amount that you're willing to lose. Yeah. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all your supports, right, from the bottom of my heart. And yes, have a great day, everyone, and God bless. Thank you.